RV dealers across America are stuck, and they can't hide it anymore. Certain RVs are sitting unsold for months, draining money while demand quietly disappears. Dealers say business is fine, but behind the scenes, inventory is piling up and the math is collapsing fast. So, which RVs are not selling and why? Jayco JFlight. Silence is the first thing you notice when you walk past certain dealership rows now. No foot traffic, no urgency, just price tags that look newer than the units behind them. That quiet tells you more than any advertisement ever could. Something broke, and it broke fast. What you are looking at with the Jayco JFlight is not a demand problem caused by taste. It is a math problem caused by timing. This was the dependable, middle-of-the-road R-Vee that dealers leaned on when uncertainty hit. During 2021, a typical 28-foot JFlight listed near $36,000 and moved steadily. Financing was easy, confidence was high. Dealers reordered without hesitation. Fast forward to late 2025. And that same layout is listed around $51,000. That is a jump of roughly $15,000 without a matching jump in household cash. At the same time, average RV loan rates climbed near 7.8%, according to lending summaries published by the Recreational Vehicle Industry Association. That combination alone thinned the buyer pool. Here is where the pressure turns real. A leaked floor plan, financing notice from Elkhart County, dated August 2025, shows more than 2,300 unsold Jayco towable units sitting across regional lots. Each one costs dealers between $280 and $320 per month in interest, insurance, and storage. That meter runs whether the unit sells or not. Auction receipts confirm what the lots are hiding. At Mannheim Recreational Vehicle Auctions this summer, 2023, JFlight models sold for roughly 65 to 70% of original dealer invoice. That is not normal depreciation. That is forced exit pricing. Dealers are choosing a smaller loss today over a larger one tomorrow. This is why discounts feel sudden and aggressive. Dealers are not negotiating. They are escaping. Every price cut resets the used market lower, which immediately weakens trade in offers. If you already own one, that matters. If you are shopping, it matters even more. There is also the hidden service angle. Warranty claims move slower when manufacturers slow production. Parts queues stretch. Labor hours get rationed. That delay quietly shifts repair risk away from factories and onto owners. Exactly when budgets are already tight nationwide. The real lesson here is not about build quality or brand loyalty. It is about overshoot. Jayco built for a market that no longer exists, and dealers finance that bet with borrowed money. Now the bill is due and the clock's running. What starts as a pricing mistake turns far more dangerous when production keeps running after demand quietly leaves the room. Keystone Springdale. At first glance, nothing looks wrong. Rows are full, flags still wave, sales offices stay open. But underneath that normal surface, the Keystone Springdale has become one of the heaviest anchors on dealership balance sheets nationwide. This R-Vee did exactly what it was designed to do during the boom. It was produced fast, shipped everywhere, and priced to move when credit was cheap. In 2021, Keystone output surged to more than 130,000 units across all lines, according to filings from Thor Industries. Springdale was a core driver of that volume. Here is where the math turned against it. Demand slowed, but production momentum did not. Dealers kept taking deliveries because floor plan financing made inventory feel manageable. That illusion broke when interest rates climbed and foot traffic thinned. Auction receipts tell the story clearly. At Recreational Vehicle Pro auctions during mid-2025, a 2023 Springdale that originally listed near $38,000 sold for roughly $25,000. That is not negotiation, that is liquidation. Each unsold unit costs dealers real money every month. Floor plan interest, insurance, and storage now run close to $300 per unit. Multiply that by dozens of identical trailers, and the pressure compounds fast. Dealers do not panic. They calculate, then they cut. Used inventory made the situation worse. Lockdown buyers are unloading Springdales in large numbers. Campgrounds, storage yards, and private listings are full of them. Buyers see abundance and slow down. New units become the least attractive option on the lot. This has a direct effect on value. When used prices fall first, trade-in offers follow. When trade-ins weaken, new buyers hesitate. That feedback loop is what you are seeing play out right now in real time. Dealer sheets reveal Springdales aging past 90 days unsold, a red flag in internal metrics. Once a unit crosses that window, incentives rise, patience drops, and discounts deepen. That timeline matters because it explains why price cuts arrive suddenly, not gradually, catching owners off guard across the country today now. There is also a quality perception issue tied to speed. Rapid production leaves less margin for correction. Service departments report longer wait times, not because parts vanished, but because volume overwhelms capacity. Delays shift inconvenience and cost away from factories and toward owners. The Springdale itself did not suddenly become unreliable. The market around it changed. Oversupply removed leverage from sellers and handed it to anyone willing to wait. That is the key lesson. When oversupply takes control, even solid products lose leverage faster than anyone expects. If this breakdown is helping you see what dealers aren't saying, take a second to like this video, subscribe for ongoing updates, and share your thoughts below. Your experience adds context, and it helps shape what we investigate next together. Coachman Freedom Express. There is a certain moment on a dealership lot when enthusiasm fades and calculation takes over. You see it when sales staff stop pitching features and start talking timelines. That shift explains exactly why the Coachman Freedom Express ended up here. This R-Vee was positioned as dependable and efficient. Not flashy, not experimental. It sold on trust. During the surge years, production ramped quickly to meet demand that seemed endless at the time. In 2022, Freedom Express units moved fast enough that few people questioned what it took to keep lines running. The trouble started behind the scenes. To maintain output, manufacturing leaned heavily on temporary labor and accelerated build schedules. That choice does not show up immediately. It shows up later in service bays and warranty queues. Proof surfaced through filings with the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration, service bulletins tied to 22 through 2024 models documented rising complaints involving electrical faults, roof ceiling failures, and early wall separation, individually manageable, collectively expensive. Here is where dealer confidence fractured. A leaked internal communication from Forest River support channels in April 2025 confirmed delayed reimbursement on warranty repairs. Dealers were fronting labor and parts costs while waiting weeks, sometimes months, to be repaid. That delay matters because service departments are not profit centers. They are obligations. Floor plan pressure compounds the issue. Each unsold Freedom Express on a lot accrues interest, insurance, and space costs. At current rates, that runs close to $300 per month per unit. Dealers now face a double hit. They pay to carry inventory, then pay again to fix it. Auction receipts show the impact clearly. Recent Mannheim recreational vehicle lanes recorded 2023 Freedom Express trailers selling for roughly 22 to 25% below book value. That discount is not driven by age. It is driven by hesitation. When dealers hesitate, buyers sense it. Sales conversations shorten. Trade and offers weaken. Used listings undercut new pricing by thousands. The cycle feeds itself quietly. Ownership costs rise in less visible ways. Warranty delays stretch repair timelines. Parts availability slows when production eases. What used to be covered becomes out of pocket or postponed. That shift transfers risk away from manufacturers and toward owners, right when household budgets are already under strain. The Freedom Express did not collapse because it lacked appeal. It stalled because confidence eroded. Once that happens, discounts stop being incentives and start being damage control. This example matters because it highlights a different failure than pure oversupply. It shows how service friction and cash flow timing can cripple demand, even when a product looks fine on paper. Once trust begins to slip, affordability becomes the only tool left, and even that has limits. Gulfstream AmeriLite. It starts with handwriting, price tags crossed out, rewritten, then crossed out again. That is the quiet signal that affordability has broken. And the Gulfstream AmeriLite shows it more clearly than almost any other R-Vee on the market today. This model existed for one reason: entry pricing. It was simple, light, and built to get people on the road without stretching finances. In 2020, many AmeriLite floor plans listed around $22,000. Payments stayed manageable. Demand stayed steady. Dealers knew exactly who would buy them. Then inflation arrived, and it did not negotiate. Supplier data released from Elkhart County manufacturing reports shows plywood, foam insulation, steel framing, and sealants climbing more than 40% between 2020 and 2024. Those costs did not disappear. They moved straight into window stickers. By 2024, that same AmeriLite that once sat near $22,000 was listing north of $33,000. That is an increase of more than $11,000 in 4 model years. Wages did not follow. Entry buyers simply vanished. Production slowed, but inventory did not clear. A leaked payroll summary from late summer 2025 shows Gulfstream factory shifts reduced from 3 rotations down to 1, with overtime frozen entirely. That is not optimization, that is survival. Dealers now carry AmeriLites far longer than intended. Floor plan interest, insurance, and storage costs run close to $330 per unit per month. After 90 days unsold, every month becomes a loss calculation. That is when discounts begin. Auction receipts confirm the reset. Used AmeriLites, built in 2023, are selling more than 30% below last winter's values at regional recreational vehicle auctions. That drop is not cosmetic. It reflects a missing buyer segment. There is also a quality signal embedded in the pricing. When margins compress this hard, build tolerance tightens. Service departments report panel alignment issues, door fit problems, and exposed wiring appearing more often. Not catastrophic individually, but expensive when combined. Warranty coverage does not always keep pace. Parts availability stretches when production slows, repairs wait. Costs shift quietly from manufacturers onto owners. That is how affordability erodes after purchase, not before. The AmeriLite did not fail because it was poorly conceived. It failed because inflation removed the very buyer it was designed for. Without that foundation, the entire pricing structure collapsed downward. This matters because entry-level weakness travels upward. When the bottom breaks, the rest of the market feels it. Inflation did not stop at the entry level, and the pressure only intensified as prices climbed higher. Airstream flying cloud. It still catches the light the same way it always has. Polished aluminum, rounded edges, that familiar reflection that once signaled permanence. But today, that shine hides a different reality. And the Airstream flying cloud proves that reputation alone cannot outpace financial gravity. For decades, this R-Vee carried an assumption: buy one and value would follow. During 2021, that belief looked justified. A base flying cloud listed near $87,000 and often sold within weeks. Demand was patient. Buyers waited. Dealers rarely discounted. Then pricing ran ahead of reality. By 2024, dealer listings showed flying cloud models pushing close to $127,000. That is a rise of roughly $40,000 in just a few years. At the same time, lending rates climbed toward 8%. According to Recreational Vehicle Industry Association financing summaries, the payment math changed overnight. Inventory exposure followed. Recreational Vehicle Industry Association data from the third quarter of 2025 shows nearly 5,000 unsold Airstream units sitting in storage yards across the Midwest. These are not abandoned relics. They are current models parked because turnover stalled. Auction lanes confirmed the shift. Mannheim recreational vehicle sales records from late summer show 2023. Flying cloud trailers selling roughly 25 to 30% below their peak market values. That erosion matters because this brand was long considered insulated from that pattern. Production adjustments made the situation more visible. Leaked internal manufacturing reports from Jackson Center, Ohio, indicate year-over-year output declines near 40%. Skilled aluminum labor was reduced. Rotating crews replaced long-standing teams. Defect reports doubled, according to internal quality logs. Costs rose as efficiency fell. Dealers responded predictably. Discounts appeared quietly, first 10%, then more. Each cut weakened the perception of stability, which accelerated buyer hesitation. That cycle feeds on itself. Ownership economics shifted too. Parts costs climbed. Repair timelines stretched as production slowed. Warranty work moved slower through service departments, already managing backlogs. What was once predictable became uncertain. The critical issue is not whether the flying cloud remains well built. It is whether the price still aligns with its buyer. When loyalty meets tightening credit, loyalty often loses. Used inventory amplified the pressure. Longtime owners decided to cash out while prices still felt high. That supply collided with softening demand. The result was visible depreciation where none was expected. The flying cloud did not collapse in silence. It slowed under the weight of math, timing, and patience running out. The market spoke quietly, then clearly. Reputation can slow decline, but it cannot cancel payment math forever. Stories like this change fast, and the numbers keep moving. Subscribe now so you stay ahead of the shifts, the pricing resets, and the warnings before they hit headlines. Fleetwood Bounder. It does not look abandoned. That is what makes it unsettling. Large windows, tall stance, full paint, gleaming under dealership lights. But the Fleetwood Bounder sitting still for weeks tells a story the sales sheet never will. For years, this R-Vee represented certainty, a dependable Class A that felt reachable if you planned carefully. In 2021, that confidence held. A typical Bounder listed around $220,000. Financing approvals were routine. Dealers reordered quickly. The flow felt steady. Then, the numbers stopped cooperating. By 2024, comparable Bounder models pushed past $300,000 on dealer listings. That increase landed at the exact moment lenders pulled back. Recreational loan approvals above $200,000 tightened across major banks. According to industry lending summaries, payments stretched. Buyers hesitated. The pipeline stalled. Inventory pressure followed immediately. Unsold Bounders began aging on lots. Not days, but months. Each unit carried heavy monthly costs. Insurance scaled with value. Floor plan interest stacked quietly. Storage space disappeared. What once felt manageable became a burden. Auction lanes exposed the reset. Mannheim recreational vehicle sales records from late summer show low mileage 2024 Bounders, selling under $180,000. That is a six-figure swing from sticker to hammer, not depreciation over time. A correction under pressure. Service dynamics added strain. Chassis components climbed in cost. Parts availability slowed as production volumes eased. Warranty timelines stretched. Repairs waited longer in service bays already managing backlogs. Ownership predictability faded. Dealers adjusted behavior without announcements. Discounts appeared selectively, incentives grew deeper, conversations shifted from features to urgency, not because the product changed, but because carrying it became risky. Used inventory amplified the effect. Owners who bought near the peak tried to exit while prices still felt defensible. That supply met shrinking demand. Listings multiplied. Values softened faster. The Bounder did not lose its identity. It lost its margin for error. Large motorhomes depend on alignment, price, credit, confidence. When one slips, the others follow. This matters because the top of the market breaks first. When high-dollar R-Vees slow, everything beneath them feels the drag. Dealers feel it. Lenders react to it. Prices respond to it. The Fleetwood Bounder did not collapse loudly. It slowed under the weight of financing reality and inventory math. Quiet pressure, visible consequences. At the top of the market, there is no cushion when financing tightens and confidence disappears. Forest River, Cherokee. You do not notice it at first because it is everywhere. Drive past storage yards, scan online listings, walk any large dealership lot. The same name appears again and again. And that repetition explains why the Forest River Cherokee sits at the center of this collapse. This R-Vee was built to win through scale. During 2021, demand surged, and Forest River answered with volume. Cherokee production expanded rapidly, covering multiple floor plans, trims, and price points. Dealers welcomed it because fast turnover masked the risk. Everything moved when credit flowed easily. Then the market cooled, and volume became weight. Internal dealer reports from late 2025 show nearly 11,000 unsold Cherokee units sitting nationwide. That number matters because each one carries monthly costs, floor plan interest, insurance, storage. Together, those expenses quietly drain cash. What once looked like inventory strength turned into financial drag. Auction lanes confirmed the shift. Mannheim recreational vehicle sales records show 2023 Cherokee models selling thousands below their original dealer invoices. These are not distressed units. They are ordinary trailers caught in excess supply. When too many identical R-Vees compete for attention, price becomes the only lever left. Production cuts followed. A leaked Forest River internal production summary, dated September 2025, shows output reductions exceeding 35% across several facilities, including Elkhart. Overtime froze. Temporary layoffs followed. These are not adjustments made from a position of comfort. Dealer behavior changed next. New allocations slowed. Lot managers stopped reordering automatically. Discounts appeared sooner. Trade in offers weakened. Each Cherokee sold reset local market expectations lower. That ripple spread fast. Used inventory made the situation worse. Lockdown-era owners began listing Cherokees in large numbers. Private sellers undercut dealerships. Buyers noticed abundance and waited. Waiting forced deeper cuts. The cycle tightened. Service departments felt pressure as well. Parts availability stretched when production slowed. Warranty timelines lengthened. Repairs waited. Costs shifted quietly toward owners. Nothing dramatic. Just slower, thinner support. The Cherokee itself did not suddenly fail. Its problem is structural. Volume only works when demand stays ahead of supply. Once that balance flips, scale magnifies losses instead of profits. Every additional unit becomes another expense instead of opportunity. This is why Cherokee pricing feels unstable. Discounts vary by week. Incentives change suddenly. Dealers are not negotiating from confidence. They are managing exposure. What makes this example critical is its reach. The Cherokee touches every segment: entry-level, mid-range, first-time owners. That means its price reset influences the entire market beneath it. When the most common R-Vee loses value, everything else follows. The Forest River Cherokee did not collapse from weakness. It slowed under its own size. Too many units, too much financing, too little demand. And that is the final lesson of this list. When volume becomes the strategy, timing becomes the risk. In this market, size no longer protects anyone. This market isn't broken by accident. It's correcting years of excess, cheap credit, and unchecked production. The R-Vees sitting unsold today are signals, not bargains. Timing matters more than brand names. Patience matters more than excitement. The next 30 days will reshape pricing, trade values, and dealer behavior nationwide. If this breakdown helped you see what dealers aren't saying out loud, hit like so more people see it. Subscribe if you want real updates as this R-Vee market reset keeps unfolding, and drop a comment below. Are you seeing price cuts, unsold inventory, or trade-in drops where you live?